Awesome. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday? Yes, happy Wednesday. I'm going to share my screen here. We'll jump right in for today. So today is day 4. Yesterday, we talked about creating an offer for conversational AI agencies. I can show you what it looks like. And we linked to, I'm going to open this up. So, Noel, if you go to day 3, the notes from yesterday's class, you'll see that I've got a link in here to a offer spreadsheet that we've been working on here. Okay, so yesterday we talked a bit about a possible AI, conversational AI for real estate, which is listing bots with the buying bot, doing free lead gen for the price, upsells, bonuses, things you can add to entice them. Free things they're going to get, in order to use your bot, they got to use your SaaS, right? They got to use your CRM. If you're doing a bot install or using their instance, you may have to figure out how to charge for that in a different way. So this is where we ended yesterday, was on looking at this conversational AI real estate offer. So today, I wanted to talk about offers again. We're going to continue with this because it's such an important step, and this will be the last day for offers. So yesterday there was a lot of examples of some higher end, high ticket offers, $3,000 a month, recurring. It's a lot of money. So I also wanted to show you now some of the offers I have. They're tiny offers. They're simple offers. And I've been successful with this recently with clients. And what that is, and this is something that you guys can do right away once you learn CloseBot and learn how to do an install. Lots and lots of people have Go High Level. They have CloseBot. They don't know how to use CloseBot. They don't know how to install CloseBot. And that's a service that you can provide. So what I've been doing is I've been providing them a service where it's a one-time charge for a setup of their bot, which comes with all the integration with putting the snapshot, hooking up any custom, there's no variables anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. And then training them on how to use the bot. I do a live build. So I do a 1-hour live build with the person, a live setup, where I do everything. I show them how I make the bot. I show them how I'm prompting the bot. And this is a one-time fee for $497 that I charge. Okay, so these are GHL users who want CloseBot. I charge them $500. I do a 1-hour done with you install, and then they have to train it themselves. I'm sorry, they have to test it themselves. I don't do lots of testing for this fee. As James and I were just doing a video before, the vast majority of your work with any bot is really going to be the testing of the bot. Once you get it set up, it's just testing it over and over again to make sure it works. So for this price, I let the client do the testing, right? And then I meet them again about a week later, and we do one more hour-long session where I tweak the bot based on the issues they ran into when they do the testing on their own, okay? And they have access to me for about a month for free on Facebook, Slack, however they want to get in touch with me, okay? And all I've been doing is providing them with a payment link that lists everything that I just said they're going to get for $497. I get my payment, so pay up front, I get my payment, and we do the bot build, okay? And then I'm working on an upsell, a tiny upsell to my tiny offer, okay? Which is, any questions on a tiny offer you could make that's not a full-blown package, which we're going to go back into after this? Okay. So one thing I like to do is we talked about your value ladder. At the bottom of your value ladder could be a lead magnet. It could be a free chatbot widget from Chatbase like we set up on Monday. And then you move them up the value ladder. So the next thing is they want a bot install. And then they want to do something with their bot. You could offer them, for instance, a database reactivation with a bot. That's huge. You could charge them an additional fee for that, okay? And what I do to sell this product is I made a calculator, okay? And I'll share this. I can share this with people who want to know how to do it. I made a calculator where they enter what their product price is, how many people are on their existing list, because it's a database reactivation, what their close rate is. Everyone says, oh, I close 90% of my deals. That's not true. That's crazy. So I do like a standard 1 to 5, 2.5% is a good conversion rate. We'll keep it at 3. And how many times a year my customer might buy. Let's say I'm doing a cleaning service or something that they do more than once. And I can see, the client can see right here how much money they potentially could make from a database reactivation. So this is also an example. The way I'm doing this is also a lead magnet where this is a lead magnet. I forgot what, win back. This is a lead magnet, right? So in order for them to see this calculator, they need to give me their name and address. So this is something you could do at the bottom of your value ladder, a free calculator to see how much money you can make on a database reactivation with the bot. Then you could sell them on their bot. Then you could sell them on monthly database reactivations. There's lots of ways to package up an offer, from a small, tiny offer. I'm going to install your bot for $500 and that's it. Or all the way up to monthly recurring deals, which we're going to get back into right now. Okay. So are there any questions on a tiny offer that you could possibly make and get started right away by people that just want CloseBot installed? It's a great market, and you're going to find a lot of people on the CloseBot group that need some help installing CloseBot. Lots and lots of people. Okay. Any questions on a simple tiny offer you can do with conversational AI, CloseBot, and GHL, selling to the market that already is using Go High Level and CloseBot? Okay, awesome. So now I'd like to keep going through the offers that we talked about yesterday. Okay, so again, we talked about building I'm going to zoom in a bit here. We talked about making. Can you all see this? Is this zoomed in enough? We talked about, we're going to go through these. So yesterday we talked about a potential real estate offer, or if you're a realtor, this may be something you just want to build for yourself. Listing bots. There's examples here, Noel, if you could see what I did and I just, copied their realtor listing. I talked about that yesterday. Okay, so now I want to move on to another potential offer. This is obvious. This is, solar, huge industry, lots of competition. I don't suggest everyone get into this industry because there is so much competition. But if you do, if you want to do like this would be home services. You could offer this to electricians, roofers, plumbers, right? The price may change, but the package I'm suggesting you could offer home services, especially people that do high ticket home services, roofers, right? They charge a lot. Is you charge them a monthly fee and a setup fee, okay? And this is a booked appointment offer. All you're selling is booked appointments, okay? So if they're going to pay you $5,000 a month and you're charging them $200 for a booked appointment, which is cheap, by the way, for solar appointments, it's almost cheaper than a solar lead. So know that if you get into using your bot to get leads and qualify leads for solar and these high ticket items, they're willing to pay a fortune for leads and even more money for appointments. So this would equate to 25. If you're going to book them 25 appointments a month for $5,000. That's the deal. That's the offer. How do you do it? Okay. Well, you're going to do free lead gen. Okay. This price comes with your lead gen, meaning you're going to work with someone. If you don't know how to do it, you're going to find someone who's really good at pay-per-click advertising, Facebook advertising, that you're going to drive traffic to this offer and to this bot via either a Facebook lead form ad, a messenger ad, a direct click. There's lots of ways when we talk about actually creating the offers. I think in week 3, I'm going to show you how I actually do this once we have Go High Level and CloseBot installed. Okay, so this appointment offer works for electricians, works for anyone in home services. It works for chiropractors. It can really work for anyone that wants to book an appointment. Okay. So this doesn't have to just be for solar, but they pay a huge premium for booked appointments. You're not going to make $200 selling electrician appointments unless it's for solar roofs, right? Okay. So how do you fulfill this? How do you deliver this? Okay. So again, they're paying me to do the lead gen for them. I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to work with someone, hopefully overseas, so I can get a good price on it, to do the Facebook ads, because that's probably the most cheapest and effective way to get traffic into an offer. And it's an upsell for them. It's a bonus for them. Wow, free lead gen, that's amazing. Okay. And then the delivery, I'm going to skip over some bonuses you might be able to add, but the delivery of this is all you need to do. They don't have to use Go High Level for a booked appointment at all, other than one tiny thing at the moment. That is, you need to connect their calendar, and you need to make a sub account so the bot can interact with just their sub account. But that's it. A lot of these electricians, home service people, they've got their own CRM. They're using Service Titan. They're using QuickBooks. They've got their own system, right? I love that. They've got their own system. So if you're doing an appointment offer, it's much easier to sell if they don't have to use your CRM for anything other than connecting their existing calendar, which also works with their CRM. Okay. And that would take one onboarding session. So you do have to do an onboarding session for all of these bots with all of your clients to build the bot and hooking up the bot. Okay. So again, you don't need Google go high level other than for integrating with their Facebook, things that they want, the channels they want the bot to answer. Okay. And in addition to this, to what they're going to get, which is the appointments, which is the main thing you're selling here, look at all the awesome free stuff they're going to get if they want to use it. Not every client wants this stuff, but it's something that just comes free with their offer. It's a sweetener. They're going to get a free CRM. They're going to get go high level. All the features that it has to offer, you're giving to them for free essentially if they go with your service. So rather than selling your go high level, your SaaS, and then adding on your bot, I'm just throwing the SaaS in for free if they buy my large packages, because it doesn't really cost me anything, obviously, to add someone to my agency. Okay, so I give it away to them, and they also get the free app on their phone, which is a great way for especially solar leads and home service people to interact, to look at what the bot's doing without them having to log in on their computer to go high level. And I also like having the app in the discussion with my clients, because if they're hesitant to even use that cool app that comes with LeadConnector, I might not want to work with this client. You have to be aware that when you make an offer, not every client is going to be amazing to work with. You may want the money and they may be willing to pay you, but it could wind up taking you a lot more effort dealing with a client that is not willing to even use a simple app. Okay. You may take the clients in, you may find a workaround, for instance, sending them an email and stuff, but if they're technologically hesitant to even put an app on their phone, it's going to be challenging to introduce a technology like an AI, conversational AI, that they kind of need to look at, see what the conversations are. But I've been starting out, when I started out, I took, I wanted the client more than I was worried about how much extra work it would take me. So I took the client. But just be aware that if they're not technically savvy or willing to learn or excited about it, they could be more of a challenging client, any type of client for conversational AI. I also give free AI credits. AI is not free. CloseBot's not free. SMSs aren't free. So they get all that's free. If they pay $5,000 a month, I give them all this awesome stuff for free. Free training. I'll make some looms. I'll do one-on-one training. I make them available. I'm available in a private Slack group for them the whole time, every month, all the time. They're a full client with this kind of money. And free support. We talked about, or Bryce talked about, how CloseBot is doing a deal with Extendly, where theoretically you could offer 24/7 support to your clients because they're paying you a lot of money and they want support. So this is a way for you to fulfill that support where you don't actually have to do it. And then on this type of a deal, I have a risk reversal guarantee, just like I did with my real estate package. I say, I guarantee you will get X number of appointments. So the answer, we're saying they're going to get 25 appointments within 30 days. Why isn't that typing? Oh, I'm viewing only. Sorry. I'm in the wrong window. That's okay. So it guarantees you will get 25 appointments within 30 days, or we keep running your campaign for free. I'm not returning their money. This is not a money back guarantee. You can offer a money back guarantee, but just be aware that you may get the money in your Stripe account in a day and spend it, and then they may ask for their money back in 30 days when you think you're doing a great job, or they're not happy with the leads. You got to run them again and again, and you will lose on that if you do that. So, there is a slight risk here on your end that it'll take you more than 30 days to fulfill the 25 appointments. It may cost you a lot of money to get those appointments in. I've had that happen where I promised a client X number of appointments and I actually had to eat it and pay out of pocket to fulfill my risk reversal guarantee. But I'd rather fulfill my guarantee with the client than not, so that they're happy and my reputation is solid. So the guarantee is super crucial. We talked about that on day 2, I think, but day 3, how you make your offer, how you make an enticing offer with all these different things in here, up bonuses, freebies, risk reversals, how you deliver it. And then up here, these are some things where you theoretically, if the 5,000, I don't know, it's just for appointments, maybe not for me, you could sweeten the deal. They're already in your CRM, right? And this applies to any client that's using your bot with either your CRM or their go high level instance. To get them into your CRM is the best solution, because then you can charge the highest price, okay? But you can offer other things that go high level comes with automatically. For instance, Google My Business integration. So they can have a chat widget, so they can have the messaging widget on their Google My Business, and you could even help them with getting that set up properly, because they're paying you a lot of money. So if you can provide some extra services that already are being done and go high level, why not, right? So reputation management. Some people charge $1,000 a month just for that. Why not throw it in for free? This is a lot of money. If you can get 2 or 3 clients paying you $5,000 a month, That's a business. That's great money. And the beauty is once you figure out a good offer that works for one client and it works well and you've tweaked it, you've worked with a few people to get this offer great, then you could scale up and go faster and faster and do more and more sales. And you'll also learn how you can set up your snapshot, how you can set up your sub account, your any custom variables as you build clients. You'll get better and faster and faster. So the delivery of your offer and the cost on your end of delivering the offer is going to go down and go down. Okay. Are there any questions on a potential solar offer that you could do? This would be a high ticket home services type offer where we're selling booked appointments. This could also be leads, okay? But you'd probably charge a lot less for leads. I was able to get $97 per lead for electricians to get EV charging installs at homes. They had no problem paying me for 10 leads up front with a $497 setup fee. So I'm making money on the setup. If I need help on the setup, I have some money in there to pay for the setup, right? And since I'm doing more and more, the setup is faster and faster. So you can make some money with a setup fee. And we'll also talk about a pure setup fee play where you're only charging a setup fee and it's high ticket. Okay. So, and one thing I've also been telling clients with every bot I build is if you get a bot in, well, this wouldn't work for this. I can't erase it. Forget that. Sorry, I can't erase it on here. Okay, any questions about a solar offer? This type of an offer. I want to move on to a different type of offer. Any questions? Awesome. This is an offer. This is an interesting offer. So I was working with a client who has sports teams, right? And the sports teams, I won't say who, but they're WNBA, NBA, G League, all the leagues. They're debating putting up buy ticks on the scoreboard, send buy ticks to this number, and then having the bot respond to them so that they can sell them season tickets, tell them about the different seating options and the amenities they can get. And then in the end, it schedules an appointment with the VP of sales to try to do larger packages, corporate sponsorships, boxes, that type of thing. So this is helping the sports team or the franchise, whoever is displaying it. This could be any venue, right? Or any event. It allows them to replace salesmen and just push people that are interested in these are very high ticket sales for them. I mean, season tickets to a basketball game is thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's a win for them. If the bot can save them, sell a few season tickets a month, wow. I mean, if you're only charging them like $3,000. So my offer here for this type of a bot, which is out of the box, I never heard of this use case before, but it's a simple use case when you think about it. I said this is probably like a $3,000 a month bot with a setup fee. And I made a demo of this in like 30 minutes. I made a bot that went online, and then it looked at the website of the team, and I pasted in some dummy seating data from ChatGPT. I had it look at a real stadium and say, give me seating data for the Staples Center. And I used that as my demo. I pasted that into CloseBot, and it just knew what the seats were available and different prices. It was incredible. So when I show you how we do this later, you'll see how CloseBot makes these types of offers very easy to fulfill. Okay. And so this is pretty simple to set up, and this will be a monthly thing. And the delivery on this is booked appointments. So this is a booked appointments play, but I'm not charging them for booked appointments because I don't know how many they would get. I don't know what would happen if they displayed it at a national game with 100,000 or 1 million people watching. I don't know what the result of that is going to be. So I kind of work that into this offer here. And the reason I'm showing you guys this offer is because it's an out-of-the-box, crazy offer that no one's done yet, and it could totally break Go High Level, CloseBot, ChatGPT. I don't know what would happen if 100,000 people all hit a bot at the same time. So I work that into this quote because it is an unknown. I want clients to be aware going into it that, hey, you're doing something really amazing with this bot, but just and it's simple. What you're asking it to do is no big deal. I can definitely set that up. But the volume that you might be bringing in may require me to do lots and lots of real-time support day after day. So frankly, this type of a bot, I haven't sold, my client has not sold this bot yet, but I made him very aware that if you do sell this bot, I don't know I can't afford to do support 24 hours a day if they're showing this at every game forever on TV, right? And then I'm going to get into more simple bots in a sec, okay? But so this would be an example of a prepaid. So I made a note in this thing where I wanted the client to be aware that it could be very high volume. because I'm not charging that much and I don't want to lose money. You need to be aware that you don't want to lose money on your offers. And if you don't know, since conversational AI is totally new, you guys may have clients that no one's ever serviced with conversational AI, that you need to let them know about the risks, and you need to be aware that there are risks, and everyone needs to be aware of the risks. So the risk on this is that it's just a high volume game. So the solution, I figured out a solution to the problem that a high volume ticketing bot might run into is you need to be prepared is all. You need to prepay your CloseBot fees and have a ton of credits. You need to pay your ChatGPT fees and have a ton of credits. You just need to prepare for high volume. Even if you're running ads, let's say you're running a really successful ad and you're spending a lot of money on ads, not just for this bot, for any bot, you need to prepare for volume. And that's what this play is here. It's a high volume, it's an easy setup, high volume bot. And this price may be too cheap. Honestly, as I was thinking about this price, if like the Lakers wanted a bot and for millions of people, I'm going to charge them $50,000. But no one's done that yet. So this I thought was a good in. And believe me, they were like, oh, that's a great price. Because of course it's a great price. And so they were going to put this on scoreboards and on radio and flyers everywhere, right? So the lead gen, this doesn't even require lead gen. They're doing the lead gen for them, but you could offer them free lead gen. You could do a database reactivation from their list just to get as many people into their bot and make them happy right away when you get a client. Whenever I get a client, I like to do something that excites them right away. I build their bot. I try to get traffic to it. I show them all these cool channels they can do right away with setups they already have going with channels they're already using. Okay. And the delivery of this is a booked appointment. All this guy who's asking for this, for the demo, for the team, he's the VP of sales. He just wants booked appointments on his calendar. So we had to do we did a setup with him. We took his calendar up. I built the demo, and he's been watching the demo for like the last week or two. So who knows if they're going to buy this thing? And again, it comes with, all of these other features that your Go High Level SaaS comes with. This client didn't care about that. Larger clients you're going to find, especially if you're working with teams and corporations, they don't really want to use Go High Level so much because they have their own CRMs that are custom tailored to them. All right. So they're not going to, but they can still use your app. They can still use the app because you still need to make a sub account. If clients don't want to use your Go High Level, it's okay. Like I said, you still need to set them up in Go High Level, and you still need to set them up in CloseBot and connect everything, especially if they want to have it accessing channels. I don't know if these guys wanted accessing their Facebook page or anything like that. They do want to display it. Okay, so this is a pretty simple use case actually for a bot, but this is an example again of a bot that's complicated. You could run into lots of problems, and this will happen if you're selling a real estate bot and you're working with realtors. They're going to ask you lots of questions. So you need to be able to know the answers to these questions. And if you don't know the answers to these questions, like I don't know the answers to what would happen if this bot took off, just let your client know up front. I let them know this is new. We're doing this together. This is a new technology that we're working on together. Let's just see what happens. And most of them are like, sure, this is awesome. Let's do it. It's like the web back in the 90s. People were willing to jump on the bandwagon, even though they were scared they were going to fall off, but they wanted to be on it, and they knew that it was going to be the future. So this, even for ticket sales in a sports team, they know that bots are the way to go. Okay, so this is an example I put together real quick for a client to pitch his client, and they were pretty happy with it, obviously, because I think it's probably too cheap, frankly, but this is good money, right? But my worry is the support, and you're going to run into clients that need support. Realtors are going to need support. They're going to have questions. No, sorry, Noel, I'm not trying to pick on realtors, but I just do have experience with realtors from Zillow. So, and same with home services people. Believe me, if they're running a successful business, they're going to have tons of questions. They're going to bug you all the time. So just be prepared that you're charging them for access to you as well. Okay. So now I want to move on to a B2B bot. This is really simple. I'll show you an example of this bot. So this is a bot for client of mine is big on EOS, which is the entrepreneurial operating system. It's a way that entrepreneurs can run their business. It's actually really, really cool. So he's really big in that industry. He knows lots of people that provide this as a service, and he wanted to see how he could potentially offer them a chatbot solution to help them sell their EOS business. So one thing he told me is that they can give away a free chapter of a book. So I said, okay, cool. Let's make a freebie giveaway bot where they're going to download the book. And this, you can imagine this with any lead magnet, right? If you're giving an ebook, you're giving away a tool or a calculator, you write a PDF file. I'm asking for their name and address so I can get them into my Go High Level as a contact, right? And I'm getting their mobile phone because we're going to hit them up with the bot. Okay. So let's see what happens if I do this. And I know it happens because I built it, but so on the value ladder, this is the bottom of the value ladder here. This is that freebie that you're giving away to get them to buy more of your services, right? So I say, yes, give me the free chapter. That's it. So now if I check, I'm not going to do it, but if I check my email, Go High Level takes over. It sends me the link to a PDF file. That's all this is, a PDF file. And then the bot, I don't have my phone in front of me, but I know for a fact you guys can try this yourself in the link, but the bot will text you, hey, Josh, thanks for downloading your free chapter of Traction. How can I help you learn more about EOS? And then it goes through your traditional CloseBot kind of flow. What's your name? It knows your name, so it doesn't ask that. It tries to book an appointment with the EOS consultant. And it looks like this in terms of how you would sell an offer like this. And again, I know that this is a good price because I know that my client who was pitching this around had no resistance to this price point. No one's bought the product yet, but they had no resistance to this price point. So this is a bot this is kind of a multiple bot sale. I'm charging him $3,000 a month. You're going to see me do this $29.70 a lot. And there's a few reasons I do that. One is it's really good money. It's not too much money where people are like, I can't afford that. You're insane. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's not outrageous for someone to spend on really good marketing at all. I don't care what kind of business they have. And it also is an incentive for you to provide a lot of value. If someone's paying you $250 for like an hour's work, you're not going to want to you're not going to want to talk to them too much after you provided the service. But this provides you an incentive to keep giving them good service month after month after month, and it's a good price for them. Okay, so this deal is unlimited leads to a booking bot, a freebie bot. I just made that up. I called it a free bot. I meant to call it a freebie bot. That's the example I just showed you where you can give away your freebie, whatever it is. And then the bot responds to the freebie you just gave them, the lead magnet, and then tries to book them. Okay. And then I integrate it with their Facebook, their Instagram, their TikTok, Google My Business, all the different channels that EOS is going to be working. A lot of these people are on Instagram. They do have communities and things like that. So I make sure it's all there. And I'm also going to run some lead gen for them. This free lead gen comes with these $3,000 packages. It's going to be up to you to find the right spot for your niche of how much you can afford to spend on a lead gen and still make money, especially if you're paying someone to do lead gen. My lead gen guy was charging he was amazing, but he charged a lot of money. So it wasn't that cost effective for me to offer unlimited free lead gen. It doesn't say unlimited. It just says free lead gen to prime the flywheel for them. So they get excited. It's something you could do on day one, have it, or once they get it set up, you could get it going right away. So they see results with their bot. So that's always exciting for them. Free follow-up or nurture. You're charging them a lot. You're not going to charge them nickel and dime them for SMS costs and AI costs. So using Go High Level, your Go High Level skills, you will do traditional follow-ups, emails. Hey, how you downloaded our book? Check it out. You can get them on a long follow-up list. I think James has something that'll hit them up for 400 days straight. So that's an example of something that you could offer with this $3,000 a month price just to make your offer irresistible. We talked about offer stacking. This is an offer stack. Okay. If they need a little bit more incentive, maybe offer them free reputation management. Offer GMB integration I know I have it here twice. One is hooking it up. And I suppose one would be actually focusing on making sure their Google My Business is set up properly, because I know that's a service that people are doing for people. I don't do it personally, but it's something that people are charging hundreds of dollars to make sure that it's set up properly. That's something you could also offer for free. And they're also getting the Go High Level CRM. And I know that this B2B market, they appreciate that. This type of market where they're doing like it's not a multi-level, it's not an MLM, but it's it's affiliate, it's referrals. They love this CRM stuff because these kind of folks are small teams, a lot of husband and wife teams doing EOS sales. They may not have a sophisticated CRM, and you're going to give them one for free, right? You're going to give them, this is all the same for every offer. They get your CRM with all the cool marketing tools. You don't have to do it for them, but you just let them know, maybe slowly over time with your follow-up emails, your nurture emails. Hey, welcome, it's 30 days in. Did you know that our service also allows you to do automated daily postings? Maybe make a quick Loom video showing them how to use that section and Go High Level, and let them do it. So you're not going to do all this stuff for them, other than above the line, this is stuff they can do on their own. All the neat stuff that Go High Level does that any business will fall in love with once they realize it can do, you can offer them with your package, but you just have to show them how to do it or do it for them. Showing them how to do it's great. If you want to do it for them, maybe that's an upsell, right? But that's not what I'm focusing on here. And again, they get the app. The app's a really neat tool. I use it again and again for them to look at their conversation history. There's a way to email them their conversation history. James put up a cool workflow yesterday about how to email them the conversation history once the entire workflow is done. But being able to see it in real time is good too. And if anyone uses a LeadConnector app, it shows your opportunities. It's got your contacts in there. It's a really, really cool tool. And it's an easy way to use Go High Level without having to actually log into Go High Level and see all the menu options. And again, you're going to give them free AI credits, some free training, and then the support. They love support. I can handle support myself for probably 10 hours a day. I'll handle support because they'll hit me up directly. I don't offer 24-hour support. But again, you can use Extendly, that's now with CloseBot, if you're using CloseBot, to offer that 24/7 support. And that's a huge, huge feature to be able to offer your clients. And then again, I've got a risk reversal. We guarantee that you'll get X number of appointments within 30 days, or we'll keep running your campaign for free. Does this risk reversal work perfectly for this client? I think so. They want booked appointments. The bot that I built after the freebie, and if they text the keyword to a phone number, it tries to book them. So these people want booked appointments. Okay. And that's, 30 booked appointments. That's 100. I don't know how many appointments you want to do. I mean, this could be 10 appointments, 20 appointments. You need to find out. This is where you need to do your research. What is a booked appointment worth for your industry? Like I said, for solar, they're worth a fortune, $300. I mean, a lot of money. But for business to business, maybe they can't afford $300. But I do know that leads are $97 for many industries. But I don't know what it is for your. So B2B is slightly different than home services or real estate, because you really need to understand what the sub niche is in the home service, like roofers, plumbers, electricians, painters, window washers, whatever. If you're going that route, you need to be aware of what's realistic. So this is where you need to do research with all this stuff. But again, I've got my setup fee, so I could spend a couple hours, 2-3 hours on a bot setting it up, but still make hundreds of dollars an hour for setting up the bot. So it's a really good way to do, and you can do any B2B business with this type of a bot. Awesome. Are there any questions about the few things we went over? Real estate yesterday, a solar package, a ticketing package, a B2B package. Are there any questions? Awesome. Okay. So now what I wanted to do, so here's an example of, I think I showed you guys an example yesterday of a bot that just tries to buy generators. I didn't go further with this. I kind of stopped here, but what I wanted to do now is I wanted to work with someone in this group here who has a niche that they'd like to make an offer for. I know there's some people in real estate, so here's an example. There's different offers, obviously, but here's for you. But I know that I think what might be cool is Luigi talked about making a travel bot offer of some sort, right? Do you want to build an offer, Luigi?
Yeah, working on it.
Do you want to do it with me now? With us?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Right. Cool. So I'm going to just do a blank page here. So we're gonna do a travel bot. I can't type in here. Hold on. I got to, let me open up a different browser window. I can't type in there. Okay. Wait.
I was actually working on these last night and this morning.
Cool. Let's see. I want to get this. Nice. Okay. So we're going to make a travel bot. Okay. So your audience is travel agent. Is it travel agents or is it the client? Is this a B2C? This would be a B2C bot, yes?
No, well, yeah, it would be B2C, but the audience would be probably boutique resorts.
Okay, so you want to do a bot where you're trying to get business from the resorts.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be a B2B bot.
So it's gonna be
the audience is gonna be resort owners.
Yep, or managers,
decision makers. As long as your audience is a decision maker, you should be good to go. Okay. So your audience, resort owners, managers, decision makers. Cool. What do you think what kind of a call to action? What result do you think they'd want from a bot? What result do you want from your bot with these people? Do you want a booking an appointment with you to talk about a bot? Is that the goal?
Yeah, well, I think, just for them, what every resort or small boutique resort owner wants is to have more direct bookings. So just be out of the OTAs like Booking.com and TripAdvisor and all of those. Just that's what they like to hear.
More direct bookings. Okay. So in this B2B bot, so where is this bot going to go? Like, is this a bot for you to get clients? Yes.
No,
So this is
no,
for them to get other people to book resorts that are business people for like their company?
yeah, so they
Corporate.
advertise in multiple channels, and so the idea is to have landing pages where the bot is going to take over the communication.
Okay.
So it could be an ad on a newspaper, it could be, a Facebook ad, pay per click on Google, like it
Web
could really be
forms.
anything.
So web forms, landing pages,
Yep.
and then what'd you say?
Just I would say just general
Facebook,
advertisement.
Instagram, whatever channels they use.
Yeah, it could be literally like a magazine too. Like sometimes they
Okay.
advertise on airline magazines.
That would be just an SMS play. Text this to that.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Or WhatsApp actually, because
Okay. Yeah, it does. I think it'll do WhatsApp. Awesome. So we have an audience, we have a goal, we have a channel. What do you think they'll pay for a booking, an appointment? This would be an appointment, right? A booking is an appointment to talk about it,
right,
right? Okay.
right.
So what do you think a good price point would be per booking cost? Because I don't know the industry. What would one of these guys pay for a booked appointment?
I would probably say easy $250.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Because that's going to determine what your risk reversal will be and what you can afford to do. That's
Yep.
awesome. $250. That's huge. That's great. If you can get that high of a price, that allows you to do lots of different things. Okay, cool. So you're going to do a per booking cost. All right, looking at some other offers here. So you're going to so if you're going to just do the free booking offer, you're probably going to want to offer them so let's say you want to offer 25 booked appointments a month. Does that seem too expensive to get those appointments? You can do 10,
Uh,
5.
I would probably keep it lower than that, like probably around five. And
Five
there,
appointments a month. No problem.
yeah,
No
yeah,
problem.
there's a lot of reasons. I mean, I don't want to get into too much, but
That's fine. It's your industry. So you want to do 5. Okay, so we know that that times 5 is $1,250. Okay. Now you want to sweeten the deal so you can charge more than $1,250,
right.
right? So what kind of so you're gonna do some free lead gen for them for that cost because we're gonna boost it up so you take that into account. They're gonna get some free lead gen. They're going to get free follow-up and nurture. They'll set them up a
Mhm.
nurture campaign, right? That's
Yep.
always cool. Free follow-up. Okay. Do you think that this client, this type of a niche, would be game on using your SaaS, or were they? Is the travel agencies, resorts kind of have their own tool that everyone uses?
They do have their own tools, but they might not be opposed to it if you try to consolidate everything in one
Okay.
place.
One cool thing about Go High Level, they may have a CRM. Lots of people have CRMs, but Go High Level is a lot more than just a
Yeah,
CRM, right? All this other cool stuff they can do. So
yeah. The social
free
planner just
Go High
alone.
Level plus all features. So you'll basically, you could do your sets, you could turn off the features, and the next one has a few
Right,
more features. So if they're paying you a lot of money, I just turn all the features on,
right.
honestly, because they're paying for it and it excites them and they think it does a lot of stuff. Free GH on all features, free app, free free mobile app. Look at all the free stuff you're going to give them here. Let's see. Free credits. You're going to give them free training on how to work with their bot. And then the support is up to you. I'm going to put a question mark on this since you're a sole operator right now. You'll have to determine how much support you can offer them.
Yeah.
So support could be one way to do it is Slack access, Slack. That's how I kind of do it, because then they could ask a question if they're in Europe at night and I see it, kind of answer it.
Yep. I
Facebook's
like
cool,
that.
but Facebook gets busy, as you know. So that's why I like to set up Slack. I think you could do a lot of it for free on Slack. You
Yeah.
may have other,
Well, but it's still cheap. It's so worth it.
yeah, you could also do Discord probably, but
No,
depending on
I hate
your audience, Discord is a little
it.
off-putting, I think. Yeah.
You can get travel people on Discord.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So what else could you offer Stack here? Would they want reputation management? Would they want custom Google by business, consulting, where you look at how their listing is on the map and you make sure that it's set up right? You could, that's a premium service that if you do it right, you're billing a monthly with this whole package offer. So let's add that.
Right.
This is an example of it. Just an awesome, let's put down here, free. I'm going to add some columns. Okay. So we'll do free rep management, which means you're just going to set up the maybe even the conversational AI. I don't mess around with conversational AI and go high levels.
Me neither. I haven't.
Management, but if you want to stick with the AI features, maybe you could learn it more, and it's a premium type feature. But I like to do free rep management because it's just why wouldn't they want that? And then you can do even a free DBR. If they're already paying you and they're already a member of your SaaS and you've got all their data, you might as well do a free DBR. And I also like to add with the DBR an audit. And what an audit means is that it's not just like I don't know how it'll work with a resort, but let's say you're working with a chiropractor or a restaurant or something like that. They may have a point of sale system that also has a ton of contacts in there that might not be in their go high level. So you're going to want to, this is a service you're offering. Like, it's not just a database reactivation. I'm going to do an audit. That's got value. I'm going to ask you where you store this. Do you use QuickBooks? Do you use this? Do you use that? Please, help, and you're going to help them. You can use ChatGPT to ask how to help them with these different tools if you need. You're going to get as much as you can into their go high level instance and do the database reactivation. And again, when you do a database reactivation, I don't do like the whole database in a day. You can't do that. That's
no.
work. They're going to be too busy. I've heard the good technique is dripping out 7 or 8 every day, just so there's constant flow. You're not spamming. And if it works well, if they say they can close half the deals or whatever, a lot of these people say they're really good. That's a lot of work coming in for them. They couldn't handle tons of, stuff at the same time, right? So this is also, look at this offer stack we just have here. Look at all this free stuff. It looks like, and it's every month. This is a monthly. These are things you'll be doing every single month for them. This stuff up here is more of the free services you're offering them. Down here is kind of the free stuff they get just by being with your SaaS, right? Yep. So what could you charge for something like this? Cost. I like to always start with $29.70 because it's just under $3,000, and it's a number that it's not insane. I'm not paying that much money, and it may be low. This may be a low price, but you know that your cost is only $12.50 per. I mean, I'm sorry. You know that, you're gonna make. I'm sorry. The appointments are worth this much money, okay? But you also need to take into account if you're paying for any free lead gen. So there could be a cost here. But there's also things you can do that might be free. You can use ChatGPT to help you to figure out how to help a client get free organic traffic, and you could post in groups for them and get people to go to a landing page, things like that. Yep. There's lots of ways to do free lead gen, but this will cost you out of pocket. So I want to make sure that it's reflected in your monthly cost. It's gonna be monthly, and I like to start here. I mean, if you're just starting out, that's good money. That's good money, and you're going to want to sign a contract with them. And when I got my first few clients, they weren't as profitable as I wanted them to be, but I got experience. I had a testimonial, yep. Right? And I had an example, right? So it's when you're just getting into this, you're going to learn what's your value, how much will they pay for this, but this could be really good money. Imagine and the beauty is once you do one client, you've learned what to do, especially if you're sticking with your niche. If you're doing a bunch of niches, you're going to have to redo it every time. If you're in one niche, this is your focus, these resort owners, you'll know exactly what to do better and better and better and better every time. So every time you'll make more and more and more money. Yeah, and you'll learn how to VA it out, scale it, etc.
Yeah, I was actually thinking on running like a beta. I don't know if you saw what I posted on the wins in school.
I did.
But yeah,
that's a win. If someone says they'll talk to you, that's a win. I mean, this is a brand new weird thing. Like, hey, let's talk about AI. They're like, yeah. Getting people to talk about a new technology that's as new as this is a huge win.
So I want to pitch him with the. Like, hey, do you want to be one of my first 5 beta?
That's a great point. That's a good point.
Instead of
Lee, he's
saying,
making.
hey, this will be 2970 in 6 months, but I'm happy to do it for 15 if you want to be on the beta.
That's awesome. So what he's
So kind of like
suggesting is
that.
doing a discount. He's doing like a 50% discount for a beta group. And we're using that term because it's a beta for them and him. He's learning the industry.
Yep.
They know he has no success yet, but they believe in him enough. And especially if they're getting a huge rate, a huge discount. And then you say this is a monthly fee. It's going to go up next month, just so you know. But to get in with me, you get a 50% discount. This is also something you could advertise, right? This is a nice little hook here, 50% off for the first 10 people. That's also an urgency, right? We talked about having urgency
Yep. And then I
with
want to miss
your
out.
offer. First 5 people, that's it. It closes Saturday, and this allows you to, if you do like a lead magnet and get in their email and phone, you can keep triggering them with this until it runs out. If you're good to go high level, you could probably even figure out a way to do a math operator and have a number 5 and then reduce by 1 every new client you have, so it's in
Yep.
real time. So great.
Yeah, another idea that I have, what I want to share with you and everyone else on this call and whoever will be watching these, is, due to the nature of the amount of dollars that we charge per month, because like you said, it's not a huge amount, but
No.
it's not really $200, right?
Right.
I think, just to avoid that churn or limit it, besides offering great service, of course, and products, I think what I want to implement myself is, if you cancel, you cannot be accepted for 1 year.
Okay, so you're going to do a 30-day. If they cancel in 30 days, they don't get the deal.
No,
They
they
have to stick
cancel
with
at
you.
any time. Let's say they stick around for 4 months and they're like, I don't want to pay these anymore. That's fine, but they cannot rejoin the program for a year.
Wow, so that's like a punishment risk reversal.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I don't want to do it right away, but once I do get the proof that this is working, and maybe 29 is cheap, maybe 29 is too much.
it might be cheap. Absolutely. I'm not promising these prices are totally accurate.
No, we're making up a price here and just see what the
Right.
market says. But
Yeah, and you'll do a client and they'll be like, that's amazing. You're like, oh man, I should have charged more.
right. But I think, in order to avoid that churn, if they do know that they cannot rejoin for 1 year, like I had this offer actually pushed on me, and I was just like, wow,
Try it.
you really think?
Let us know. Let us know if that works. Another thing so he's talking about retention. Selling a monthly service is awesome, but if you keep them every month for the year, then your estimates of how much money you're going to make are off, right? And the goal is to keep your monthly clients retained forever. So when you're giving them all this free stuff, right? Why would they want to leave? Especially when you get them into like a DBR that's an ongoing thing going through in order, sequential list. Why would you want to keep? They should want to stay with you every month because you're showing success every month. So yeah, being able to retain your customers is crucial, super crucial. So good point. But yeah, if you want to do some sort of cancel now and you can't get the offer again, I'm curious to see how that works.
Yeah, I'll test it when the time comes.
Cool. Okay, so we're coming up on the end of the hour here. I hope today was helpful. I want to be done today with making offers and talking about offers. Just to recap real quick, where's that thing here? Oh yeah. Let's work. All right, so yeah, so just to recap real quick, yesterday and today, talked about making an offer. And we talked about what an irresistible offer is. We talked about the value ladder, a free, something free, a little bit pricier, and then your high ticket item. A great lead magnet would be that book download, right? And then the bot trying to upsell them, or giving away. In the first day, we built that little chat based thing. That's like you can get like a Minos account, which I'll show also for $47 a month with unlimited bots. I mean, little chatbot bubbles. You can give those away. That's an amazing lead magnet. Okay. Then we talked about when you make your offer, identifying the problem. What problems do they face? So for you, they want to get bookings, etc. Solar people, there's competition. They want booked appointments. The ticketing people, they want to be able to automate what is now a person-heavy service, right? And then we present our solution. So what are the benefits? What makes it unique? What is simple? I didn't write that down in the offer itself. This is something you should Just know that your offer should have benefits. It should be unique, and it should be a simple offer, which I think some these offers are relatively simple. And then we want to make sure we talk about value stacking, just adding stuff to your offer to make it irresistible and worth so much money that they can't possibly say no, right? Limited availability, we talked about that. Offer only good for the first 5 people, ending next week, special Thanksgiving Day sale, right? So scarcity, exclusivity is huge, right? I talked about the guarantee. That's crucial. People want to know that if they spend money with you, they're going to get what they paid for, and there's less risk for them. And you want to make sure that there's less risk for you by not necessarily offering them a money back guarantee. Totally can do that if you want, but just be aware that you could get in some serious trouble with a money back guarantee, especially if you're spending out of pocket for lead gen for them and all that stuff. So be careful. Then we talked about the call to action. Every good offer should have a call to action. The call to action is click this button below. Click here to buy now, click the link, whatever. You've all seen the calls to action. It's usually a big fat button, right? And then you put, click now, offer ends soon. So if you add urgency into the call to action, you're just reinforcing that. We talked about social proof, which is like that. If you've been on a website, you see a widget. Oh, Bob Smith just bought the product in Arkansas. Sally just bought the product in California. That lets other people know that, wow, people want this thing. I better jump on this. And social proof is huge. That leads to fear of missing out. People don't like to miss out. Okay. So there's ways to add social proof. Testimonials are great. Luigi, you mentioned doing work for a discount. Get testimonials from them. Even do maybe your first client for free from the testimonial, because testimonials are fantastic. And then, you can quantify. I've helped over 1,000 customers. I've installed over 40 bots. I've booked over this many appointments. Show your success. And then, make sure your testimonials are true. Just like your social proof should be true. And I mentioned that some of those social proof meters are not true. Wow, look at all these people buying the product. That's not real. Does it work? Yes. I won't tell you what to do or how to do it, but it is borderline dicey. Okay. I've included some of the links here. I gave you guys a link to a book by Alex Hormozy. There's many books. This is a good one for making $100 million offers. If you've read Russell Brunson, I think Expert Secrets, which one? All of Russell Brunson's books talks about this stuff. Okay. Then today we went over more offers. I showed you for the opposite end, a super expensive monthly recurring offer for thousands of dollars. What's the opposite end of that? It's a tiny offer. Let me just install your bot for you on your existing Go High Level. You don't have to pay for CloseBot. You don't have to pay for Go High Level, right? You're just doing it on their systems. Okay. And all the stuff that it might come with, and how much time commitment it should take you. If you're good at making bots, it shouldn't be more than a couple hours of work for you, honestly, because you're not testing the bot for them. You're not doing an advanced bot. You're not doing all these things to them after they've tested it for a week and a half and they want to do all these other things, right? You'll tweak it for an hour, but you're not selling them on the super expensive bot. Okay. And I give them a prepayment link. I don't install a bot usually unless I get paid up front, because in an hour it's done. And sometimes I'll even, if I want to pitch a client, I'll make a demo bot just to show them what I'm going to build them, because it's so easy to make a bot with a Facebook page, which I'm going to show you guys how to do in the third week, I think. And then we talked about a possible upsell, a database reactivation. That's a fantastic upsell. All you got to do is set it up for them in their Go High Level and do that audit, right? That's a unique service that you can provide that makes it seem like it's special. Anyone can hit their own list, but if you're going to help them find other email addresses that they may not have in their database, that's huge. That doesn't work for every client. Obviously, they have to have POS systems and other CRMs they may be using, Outlook, QuickBooks, things like that. Okay. And I showed you an example of how a calculator is a cool way to get people to buy into your database reactivation, because they can see right there how much money they could potentially make. Okay. And then we did some live offer building today. We worked with Luigi as we kind of built a live offer stack here with some general pricing information that he got from his research and knowledge of the industry and what he might want to charge. But even he's saying that might be too cheap. And he's right. You're going to find this out, since this is new for everyone. You'll find out the proper pricing based on how many people say you're crazy, that's too expensive, or how many people are like, oh my God, here's my credit card, let me pay you right now. But like you said, when you're starting out, be reasonably priced. You could shoot for the moon, it may happen, but if you're reasonably priced, you provide a good service, you're going to get testimonials and experience to charge more with the next client. Okay. Any questions today regarding the last couple of days of offers? No? Awesome. So your homework is to just work on your offer if you don't have one. work on your offer stack. I'm gonna call it, so it's more than just the offer, it's the whole stack, right? And then so work on your offer stack. So we talked about picking your niche. We talked about creating an offer. Okay. Tomorrow, we are going to have some fun. Not that this wasn't fun. We're going to have more fun. So tomorrow, now that you have an offer and a niche, we're going to do some branding. So that means that we're going to be using Canva and ChatGPT to come up with company names, product offer names, and then I'm going to show you how to make your logo. I'll show you how to make a Facebook cover profile, all in Canva, which I think is free for most stuff. And I'll also show you how to use Canva for doing AI graphics, which, as everyone knows, is so cool. And I love Canva. I think it's, I mean, I've been using Photoshop since 1989. So I no longer use any Adobe products. You don't have to. So honestly, so you're going to learn a lot of cool little freebie or cheap tools that are new, not new, but newish in the world of development, to me at least. And they're really an artistry and design. So that's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be fun. We're going to make graphics. We'll come up with a name. I got some cool things for you to do. Awesome. So there were no more questions, correct? Any questions? No? Awesome. Thank you so much for attending day 4. Hopefully I'll see all of you and more tomorrow at 11 when we brand. And then next week, we're going to get Go High Level going. We're going to get CloseBot going. We're going to build our first default bot. We're going to start building bots, putting it all together, making our offer. I'll show you how we do advertising, all this stuff. It's going to be awesome. Okay?
Thanks,
If anyone wants to hit me up, feel free to hit me up anytime. Part of the service with the challenge. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Josh.
Bye, everyone.